Elon Musk has proposed opening up free, unlimited migration between India and the United States to allow for highly skilled workers to come and fill tech jobs from India, whilst allowing US workers to go over to India and fill roles that are more their speed, like servants. The idea came after the Republican Party began to implode after Vivek Ramaswamy and Musk suggested that they should expand the H1N1 visa program. That program allows foreign highly skilled workers to come to the USA and be paid like shit, usurping those very jobs out from under hard-working Americans. Unfortunately, this suggestion has not gone well because although the billionaire elites would like to have a high-skilled, underpaid workforce, these people aren't white, which directly clashes with the core beliefs of MAGA Americans. This has led to an ensuing war where Elon Musk has suggested deporting all low-skill, low-tech workers from the United States to India and replacing them with high-skilled, high-tech workers but don't want to be paid that much from India. With the core of MAGA now retaliating and saying if we're gonna be deporting immigrants, let's start with Elon Musk, who's here illegally, and Vivek Ramaswamy as well.
So just a little more clarity around that. MAGA folks are saying that the people with H-1B visas are taking their jobs too? Girl, dear MAGA folks, y'all do not qualify for the jobs of the H-1B visa people. It's high tech. It's a different tax bracket, honey. You do not qualify for those jobs, girl. And so, and I know this because in college, I worked in the Office of International Student Services, where I was collecting the checks from international students. And international students, they have to pay in cash, baby. The check has to clear before they do anything else. And then afterwards, once you graduate, in the in-between, you look for a job. And then the company that you are going to work for has to sponsor you, which means that company has to pay for you to be here. Y'all don't, MAGA, your brains are working in too many realms in which you don't have access to. Stop it. H-1B, above your tax bracket. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
It's been a really interesting post-Christmas time, seeing as Laura Loomer, the conservative journalist out of the United States, has declared war on Elon Musk. I'm Isaac Peltz. I'm a journalist living out of Montreal. The world is chaotic and challenging. This is a place for deep discussion. Big props to Laura Loomer, who is calling out facts right here. She's talking about the fact that Elon keeps touting this low birth rate in the United States, but the fact of the matter is people can't live off of $70,000 a year in 2024. When you're right, Laura. I want to be clear, however, that the reason she is touting this is because she wants America first and lower immigration in general. So just fully having that context in there is important. A lot of people who complain about the declining birth rates in developed Western nations, but the reality is when you can't afford to have children, how are you going to have children? This all stems from the fact that Elon Musk wants to continue a certain visa, which essentially allows people from different countries to come and work on a temporary basis for extremely low wages. In Canada, we have something called the Temporary Workers Program, which is a very similar thing. It allows people to come to Canada and work for extremely low wages, to the point where the UN called it akin to modern slavery. Laura Loomer comments on the fact that the mega movement came from a place of feeling underrepresented by today's institutions. And she says that we go from being these underrepresented people to being crushed by its own movement because of the interests of billionaires. And she's right. This is an extreme amount of disrespect to the mega movement, who elected Donald Trump based on the idea that he would push back against billionaires. To quote him, he can't be bought because he's already a billionaire. Frankly, her criticisms of Donald Trump and Elon Musk in all of these tweets are extremely prescient to what's been going on these past few years. The fact of the matter is that tech billionaires own both the Democrats and the Republicans, and Donald Trump is proving that. The reality is that the MAGA movement wanted a big change institutionally, and instead they're going to get a lot more of the same and potentially worse from the Republicans. And that's the case across the board. In Canada, similarly, if you elect the Conservatives, you're going to see a lot more of the same and potentially worse. At the best, the Conservatives will do a lot of the same stuff that the Liberals are doing, even though they're saying they're going to do it differently. So, the solution? is to have electoral reform, to change Canadian electoral systems to be representative, to change the United States electoral system to not be dependent on the Electoral College. And how do we do that? We have a big old movement and we kick out the people who are already in there and we start stopping them from running the show in a way that interests only billionaires and the ultra rich. My name is Isaac Peltz. I'm a journalist living out of Montreal. Check out my link in bio, working on the largest investigation into the housing crisis ever done.
So who do y'all think is going to win between MAGA and Elon and Vivek? So if you haven't heard, there's this whole discourse. Laura Loomer called out Elon and Vivek for wanting to push for H-1B visas, which is like a temporary work visa. And they use these a lot in their companies because they're able to employ immigrants to come and work on a temporary status. So it's really big in tech. It's supposed to be for like highly skilled labor, engineers, that kind of thing. So these capitalists, they use these because they are able to get highly skilled labor at a reduced rate. And so Vivek is basically saying, of course we need to do this because Americans don't value education. It's much harder to train you guys. And it's a culture thing. And, you know, all this, and MAGA is losing it. They're losing it because they're like, wow, you should just train us to do these jobs. Like, this is America. These should be American jobs. You should not be pushing for more immigration, and especially not immigration from them brown countries. So now, MAGA, y'all, what y'all want some affirmative action? Is that what we need to do? Oh, wait, maybe we can push DEI, get some diversity in there. Because if they're hiring all the brown people from India, we could push for DEI and get white males. That would be the diversity. Like, oh, but wait, we rolled that back. And affirmative action too. So you get what you get and you don't throw a fit.
So I can't help but enjoy the fact that portions of the MAGA base are turning against Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy because they're publicly advocating for the idea of lifting the cap on H-1B visas so they can hire more foreign workers to work within their companies in these different industries. The reason this is so amusing to me is because for many years we've been hearing from this side of the political spectrum that the only thing that they're really in opposition for is illegal immigration, unchecked illegal immigration. But legal immigration would always be fine. But now they're starting to understand that there's actually a very substantial portion of their side who do not just oppose illegal immigration, they oppose all immigration, whether it be legal or illegal. Now, their argument, Elon Musk's argument, is that in order for us to be competitive within a global economy, we must hire the best people possible for these positions, and that sometimes necessitate hiring people from other countries to fill these positions. Vivek Ramaswamy is arguing that the reason that there are not enough people in America that can do these kinds of jobs to be hired is because the culture does not prioritize people being educated, people being trained. It's a cultural problem that we are just not as strong-minded and oriented towards work ethic as other cultures are. But then you have the other side saying that that's a bullshit argument, and the only reason they're saying this is because they want to legitimize the practices of corporations to hire cheaper foreign labor, because they know that these workers that are coming over here are using these visas. They have no other choice but to work these jobs. They have no leverage to negotiate better wages, better salaries, better benefits, because their position here, their ability to remain here in the country is tied to their employment. So basically, they're never going to try and negotiate their way to anything better. They're going to take whatever the companies offer them. They're arguing it's a form of indentured servitude, basically. But you're starting to see this fracture take place now, because now so many of these people believe that these tech billionaires, these tycoons, CEO types, do not actually give a shit about American workers. They care about their businesses first and foremost. And they will try to gaslight and manipulate them into believing whatever they want to in order to justify their hiring practices. It's not about America first in their mind. It's about Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy first, tech CEOs first, billionaires first.
Let's be clear about one thing right here, right now. What's happening with Elon and Vivek and the MAGA demographic is expected. Not this situation exactly, but this, what's occurring, to anyone with at least half a brain, knew this was coming. Elon Musk has been stomping around with Donald Trump for 8 months now, right? For the campaign, and has been hard on Donald Trump's side of anti-immigrants, wants to do mass deportation, even though he's an immigrant himself and he came here through shady means. But he wants to deport immigrants so that work can go back to the Americans. And then Vivek yesterday apparently made a comment that Americans are lazy and bad workers, and that a specific demographic of immigrants that are for tech are better, and that they need to come to America and work in the tech industry, and or just outsource the work to them and not the Americans. And then Elon Musk just tripled down and was like, yeah, that's a cool idea. And now MAGA's getting mad like this was a surprise. Like, what did you expect out of a billionaire who also happens to make garbage electric trucks?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am so excited to have you here with us today. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. So sit back, relax and enjoy today's video. I pumped to get started and I hope you are ready too. Let's talk about the videos you watched recently right now.
Well, that didn't take long. MAGAs are in a civil war with each other right now. Apparently, according to Heather Cox Richardson, a very smart historian from the United States who writes a newsletter, which you should definitely check out, there's like two sides of the MAGA camp now. One is the low information white voter who is definitely immigration negative. And then there's the tech bros, which helped Trump get elected because they spent a lot of money on his campaign, like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy and people like that. And they are all into creating more places for immigrant tech workers to come to the United States on temporary visas, which of course upsets the MAGA crowd, the America First MAGA crowd, because they are just saying things like, well, why do we need tech people from overseas? I thought there was all kinds of tech people being laid off recently. Why aren't we hiring them? And then the tech bros are saying, yeah, well, the American engineers aren't as good as the foreign engineers. And, you know, and then the MAGA people are going, well, you know, we like our engineers white. We don't want brown engineers here in the United States. What about America First? So this thing is getting a little bit ugly. In fact, Vivek Ramaswamy said, and he posted, that tech companies hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers rather than native-born Americans because American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long. A culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers. He called for more math tutoring, fewer sleepovers, more weekend science competitions, fewer Saturday morning cartoons, more books, less TV, more creating, less chillin', more extracurriculars, less hanging out at the mall. Well, may I ask, what is more American than hanging out at the mall? Go MAGAs. Go. Get each other. You can do this.
The proposal to open up free, unlimited migration between India and the United States by Elon Musk has sparked an incredibly intense and multifaceted debate, touching on key issues such as national identity, labor markets, innovation, and global competitiveness. On one hand, Elon Musk's suggestion is forward-thinking, aiming to harness the global talent pool and encourage innovation that could generally benefit both nations economically and culturally. By allowing the free flow of people between two of the world's largest economies, Musk envisions a future where technological advancement, entrepreneurship, and scientific research are not hindered by bureaucratic barriers. This could lead to an exchange of ideas, better collaboration across industries, and possibly more groundbreaking discovery. It could also empower talented individuals, particularly from India, to contribute to the U.S. workforce in sectors like technology, healthcare, and engineering, where a shortage of skilled labor is often cited. However, the proposal has also met significant backlash from conservative groups, especially those aligned with the MAGA movement, who argue that such an open policy would undermine American workers. Many within the MAGA base feel that the H-1B visa program already puts pressure on US job markets, with foreign workers often willing to accept lower wages, which they believe results in job displacement for native-born Americans. The fear is that an even more open immigration policy could exacerbate this issue, leading to wage suppression and job scarcity in key industries. The MAGA arguments often center on the idea of protecting American jobs and maintaining a national identity that prioritizes the well-being of the native workforce. In their eyes, this policy could erode the economic stability of American workers in favor of global corporations and elites like Elon Musk himself, who benefits from a more globalized workforce. Then there is the provocative response from Laura Loomer, a right-wing journalist and activist who declared war on Musk, seeing his stance as a direct threat to American sovereignty. Loomer has built her brand on combative history and unfiltered opinions, and her decision to take aim at Musk comes from the perception that his policy aligns with the interests of global elites, rather than the average American worker. Loomer's declaration of war isn't just about the immigration policy itself, but also about her broader anti-establishment stance. She sees Musk's progressive views on immigration as part of a larger effort by allies to dismantle traditional American values and push the country toward a more globalist agenda. This has only fueled the divide, as her followers amplify this history on social media, further entrenching the idea that Musk and others in his position are working against the best interests of American citizens. The tension between Elon Musk, MAGA supporters, and figures like Loomer have also brought attention to a wider ideological divide within the Republican Party and American politics as a whole. On one side, there is the more traditional nationalistic wing of the GOP, which fears that the policy advocated by people like Musk and entrepreneurs such as Vivek Ramaswamy could lead to a dilution of American culture and the rise of corporate oligarchies. On the other side, there are those who view open migration as a necessary step for ensuring the US remains competitive in a global economy where innovation and talent are paramount. Ramaswamy, a strong advocate for immigration reform and a more meritocratic system, argues that the US needs to embrace the best minds, regardless of the nationality, in order to remain a leader in science, technology, and industry. This debate ultimately comes down to differing philosophies. One prioritizes the protection of jobs and American identity, while the other focuses on the need to position the country as a hub for global talent. This divide has resonated across the nation, with people on both sides passionately defending their position. On social media, hashtags like Elon Musk Migration, American First, and Loomer vs. Musk are trending, showing just how polarized this issue has become. Public reactions range from those who champion Musk's visions of an interconnected world, believing that immigration fosters prosperity and strengthens society, to those who vehemently oppose it, seeing it as a threat to their livelihoods and way of life. The political fallout from this debate could have significant long-term consequences on US immigration policy and its approach to labor markets. Depending on how the conversation evolves, we may see a shift in policy toward either more open immigration, as Musk envisions, or a stricter approach, as MAGA and figures like Loomer demand. In conclusion, this debate is not just about immigration policy, it's about the future of the United States in a globalized world, the role of technology and innovation in shaping that future, and the protection of jobs and values that many feel are being undermined by external pressures. The conversation around Elon Musk's proposal, Loomer opposition, and the MAGA response is a microcosm of the larger ideological battle currently playing out in American politics, reflecting the tension between globalization and nationalism, corporate interests and working-class protection, and the evolving role of the US in an increasingly interconnected world. Thank you for watching, and let's continue this conversation in the comments below. Let's share our thoughts and perspectives with one another. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on this story and more.